Greetings and welcome. Welcome to this edition, but just give me a moment. I just want to show you what is my regular. It's the evening, and most of the times in the evenings, I have my ritual, which is this is green tea, and this is honey. You know the honey stuff, yeah. So I'm not, it was a full bottles, but I use honey for my, yeah. See, this is the honey. It's a compressed one. That's what I use to add some, sweetener stuff to my tea. Okay. So I'll put that there. And I'll get started. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. It's Sunday. Why, God? Why is it Sunday? Because we usually say, thank God it's Friday. But it's Sunday, which means back to work tomorrow. Back to the real life. You wake up from this fantasy over the weekend and you go back to producing and providing and being productive, being useful to society. That's how it is on Sunday. The thought of having to go back to work tomorrow, it's depressing for a lot of people. But if you don't work, you shouldn't eat. So nonetheless, I want to welcome you to this edition of the program of Dr. Love Prasad Uncensored. Uncensored means I make no apologies for the things I say. I just say whatever comes to mind. I have no script. Nothing is pre-prepared. Nothing is planned. I see a situation and I react spontaneously to that situation to get it over with. I have to apply therapy to myself. I'm the doctor, right? So I can't be the doctor and it's prescribing for other people, but I can't use my own prescription. I can't apply my own discipline to my life. So no. I'll use the same strategy I suggest and recommend for other people, which is, if something is bothering me, get it off my chest. Get rid of it. Put it out there so other people can deal with it. It's out there. I don't have to bother with that anymore. Let somebody else concern themselves about that. That's what it is. But don't you know that's exactly what politicians do? You have no idea that's exactly what they do. They project their problems onto the masses, onto their followers. That's what they do. So they allow you, or they seduce you into carrying their guilt. So you take over their burdens and you think that it's yours. You think that you're the one with the problem. You're not the one with the problem. You're not the one who wants to be president. You're just a normal citizen who wants the best for your family. You want to go to your job, ain't bothering nobody. You want to make your money, earn your money, come back home, provide for your family. That's all you want. You are not stressing behind political strategy, stressing behind what you can concoct, stressing behind what you can create in order to direct society a certain way in your favor. You're not busy doing that. That's least of your concerns. It's the politicians who are begging for your support are the ones who are creating these conspiracies because they know what you want to hear. They know that all of you want to have a better life for your families. That's everybody's dream. Listen, when a woman is pregnant, or when she knows that she has conceived, from that point, she stops thinking about herself. She takes herself out of that picture. It's no longer about her. Every day from that moment on, she is busy thinking, what can I do for my child? How can I make my child better? How can I create the circumstances better for him or her when they arrive? How can I help this world to be a better place for my child? I want my child to do this. I want my child to do that. I want my child to be this. I want my child to be that. I want my child to see these things. These are the fantasies that becoming mothers are entertaining while they're pregnant. They're not worried about politicians and politics. They're worried about how they can make it better for their child. And when that child comes, the child is here. Now they are faced with the reality as to how now can I apply the things I was thinking about so my child can get the things that this child needs for a better life. And guess what? When that happens, and they start to talk about it amongst themselves, women talk, mothers talk, the devil listens and he steals that concern. He steals that desire. And when he does that, who do you think he sells it to? Yeah, the devil sells stuff, The devil is a hustler. The devil is a hustler. Who do you think the devil sells those ideas from real people? Who do you think he sells it to? I'm talking to the Guyanese audience, Guyanese mothers. I'm talking to you. Who do you think the devil sells your ideas to? And your ideas are pure. Your ideas are wholesome. Your ideas are concerning. Your ideas are beautiful because you want the best for your children. So if there's nothing wrong with wanting the best for your children, your ideas are great. But sometimes you think too loud. And when you think out, the devil is there, hears your ideas, and he sells your ideas to Norton. Aubrey Norton. He sells your idea to Norton. So Norton hijacks the idea, twists it to suit his political slogans and platform, and brings it back to you. And this is what Norton tells you. To make him president, and he will give you $1 million. $1 million. I gotta take a sip for this. Yeah, it's pretty hot here. I don't have air conditioning in this section here, but I have to take a sip for this. Cheers. Cheers, Norton. Norton, cheers. Clear the throat so I can talk better. The devil sells your ideas to Aubrey Norton. Yeah. And they bring it back to you and tells you you need to fight for what you deserve. You need to fight for a better life for your family and yourself and your children because you deserve better. Norton is telling you, the PNC and all those people who wants to get in the position where Irfan Ali is, they want to get there. And the only means, the only visa that they can get to reach that position or that place You, the Guyanese people, you run the embassy. You're the one who has to give the visa to all these politicians who are looking to fly to that place where Ali is. And they're telling you, give them the visa, because when they get there, they would make you so happy and flamboyant and great. Chocolate every day. God himself would be jealous. The life they're going to give to you. All they want is the visa, is a chance to be there. That's all they want. They don't have the means to help you right now. They can only point out to you the ills of the government, the corruption, the confusion, the stealing, all of that. They can just point it out without evidence, point it out to you, and then promise you in the end, listen, make me the president, and instead of $100,000 per year, I'll give you $1 million. And the mothers who are so innocent and unsuspecting, they're only thinking about the future of their family. That's all they're thinking about. So that sounds good to them. They're fantasizing, wow, $1 million. I could do so much with that. I can buy this for my kid. I can send my kid here. I can do this. I can do that. I have to take a chance. I have to trust this person, because why would he be lying? He's really concerned about us mothers. Let's give him a chance. You see, mothers live in the moment. And I'm talking to women now. Ladies, you live in the moment. Women are like black people. It's all about now. It's never about what happened yesterday. It's about what's going to happen tomorrow and now. If it sounds good to me now, you got me. Have my attention. Let me give you an example. One of the reasons why you have a lot of women taking their exes back is because they live in the moment now. They forget the hell the ex put them through. They forgot the pain they endured. They forgot the sleepless nights. They forgot the near-death experience by the hand of the ex. They forget all of that. All they're focusing on now to decide whether to take the ex back is what he is saying to them now. And what is he saying? Honey, I'll give you the world. Honey, I didn't know what I was doing. Somebody put witchcraft. Honey, I had a bad habit, but I got therapy. Honey, you're the woman for me. Honey, this and that. They're hearing that now. And based on that, honey, I'm going to do better. Honey, look, $1,000. Honey, let's make up. Honey, I love you. They make a decision. A life-altering decision based on what they heard that moment. Then after they make that decision and they let him in, and before you know it, the same loser surfaced again, and they tell him, I was so stupid to give you a chance. Before they finish saying chance, he unalived them. They're dead. Done. They ain't get a chance to regret it. Why? Because in the first instant, When the ex showed up to say, can we talk? They should have said, you say one more word and I call the cops. Go talk to the past. Go talk to the past. Because my mind will never forget the evil that you did in the past. If women do that, the exes will know they never stand a chance ever again. But women always forget the past, focus on the now. That's the mistake women continue to make. So do black people. So do black people. Black people forget so quickly. So quickly they forget. It was just under 5 years ago, I need to say. You see, I could have drank this before I start my life, but I take a long time to eat. Drink. Some of you are not going to go to heaven, you know. You have to go check your mind. You really need a psychiatrist. You need a therapist. Because I just said I could not drink this tea before I come on live because I usually take long to eat. And you are getting ideas. You already think it's something else that has to do with... You should have asked me, Professor, eat what? What dish? Is it curry, chicken, roti? Is it cook up rice? Is it soup? Ask me what dish. But the fact that you are going to entertain this thought, and this is why a lot of people aren't going to heaven. You need forgiveness. You entertain this thought that when I talk about I take a long time to eat, you're thinking something else. But I forgive you. I forgive you. It's exactly what you're thinking. But I can't say it. You see, he's talking about this. He's talking about... Anyway, yeah. Like I said before. Black people, their sin, the sin of the black man, I'm talking Guyanese black, or the Negroes. I'm sorry, Afro-Guyanese. The sin of the Afro-Guyanese is that they forget quickly. They forget. Why? Why is it okay for the Afro-Guyanese to remember independence, the Battle of Coffee, and all these African celebrations? You remember that. You come out. You support that. You remember everything that happened that has been historically documented. You remember that. But something that happens in a recurring instant in your life in Guyana, you forget. Just the other day, APNU, I got it right this time, APNU, the coalition, was in government for 5 years. Just the other day. 5 years. Look at how they treated you Afro-Guyanese for 5 years. Look at how they treated you. How many of you got your house lots? How many of you opened businesses? How many of you completed your studies? Look at your lifestyle. In the 5 years of APNU, David Granger, look at the 5 years. Then I want you to go back before 2020. Go back, scroll down, or go YouTube, whatever you can do. Your digital footprint is there. Go back to your Facebook feed and check your own posts. Check your own comments, your own videos from 2020 back to 2015. Check your record as Afro-Guyanese against the PNC. Go check. Don't forget. Go back and check and see the things you were accusing them of. Examine the things you were saying, the way they were treating their own people. Go check. Go check. It's your stuff. Go back and check. You forget too quick. So now, these same hypocrites who mistreated you, starved you, caused a lot of you to leave that country for greener pastures. Now you're listening to those people today and are believing the crap they are telling you, that they'll give you $1 million a year or whatever, and they'll do this and they'll do that, and you believe that shit? You're willing to risk your vote on the same nonsense they told you in 2014 and never delivered in 5 years? You want to buy that same crap again. Lest you forget. But then again, isn't that the black story? The demographic of women who always get caught up in exes are black women. It's a fact. It's a statistic. Black women are more prone to taking their exes back or cheating with their exes than anybody else. So it's a black thing. But you need to get out of that. Get out of that. Change the mentality. You are in mental slavery. That's what Bob Marley talked about, right? Isn't that what Bob Marley talked about? Mental slavery. Get out of it. Marcus Garvey. Get out of it. You want to believe the same crap they tell you then. If you, well, your parents and grandparents, but if your parents and grandparents took the time, the way the Indians, their parents and grandparents, takes the time to educate them on history, if the Afro-Guyanese parents and grandparents were doing that, PNC would not exist. PNC would not exist. They would have to come, I don't know. They would not exist. Because the parents, your parents and your grandparents will tell you the evil they endured under the PNC. That is a history they would not forget. But they forgot to tell you. So you think that the same people who once enslaved your grandparents and parents are coming back with different shirts, uglier, with more fucked up voices, and you think those people are genuine? They're from the same camp. Look at the Congress Hall of the PNC. Whose picture you see there? Whose picture you see there? The god of the PNC, Barnum himself. He's looking over them. And they did the same thing in 2015, 2020. Same thing. Starve the people. Punish the people. And the only ones who benefited from them are the women they were fucking and the men they were sucking. Only people. But the masses, the majority of the Guyanese population did not benefit. Why? Because the blacks keeps forgetting. Keeps forgetting. You need to set a better example for your children. Don't forget the past. This is why you have a lot of black people, men, continue to be what you call repeated offenders. They go through hell in prison. They get out of prison, and within a month, they're back in prison. They forgot the whole ordeal. Forgot. This is why they keep doing these things, because they pay less attention on the pains of the past or the lessons of the past, and they focus on what sounds good now. They would attack a Chinese supermarket, and the Chinese supermarket would have shot one of them and killed him, but the others got away. In a very short space of time, the others that got away think they missed something and wants to go back to the same supermarket that just killed one of their criminal buddies. They forgot. They go back, and the Chinese shot all of them this time, because they keep forgetting it's a crime against black people. They commit this crime against themselves because they keep forgetting. If black people focus on the past, they would switch off Aubrey Norton. They would switch off Nigel Hughes. They would switch off this, what's this other guy name? Anyway, I'll get his name. It's not relevant, so I don't waste time with it in my fucking head, you know. They would switch off Crylissa Scampussy. They would switch her off. They would switch off this other idiot and the others. They would switch them off if they remember the past. But they don't. So I'm here from time to time to remind the black people to remember the struggles, the hardship, the starvation, the pain that they suffered during the Barnum years and during the fucking David Granger years. Recently. Don't forget. Because right now, excuse me, it's getting cold, so I have to. Right now, Afro-Guyanese, 2025, right now, as I speak, you are living economically in the best time of your existence in Guyana, right now. You are living and experiencing the best time of your life as of May 18th, 2025. Today. Tomorrow will be better. Next week will be better. The next 5 years will be fabulous, fantastic. But right now, this is your best time. If you take it for granted and you are distracted by those demons from the other side, and you miss your blessings because you're focusing on the curse that doesn't exist, that they're showing you. They're trying to tell you that you're cursed, but it's not a reality. It's not realistic. They're trying to get your mind to start envisioning that you are cursed, so you will never be vigilant enough to see the blessing that's on your table right now. And you start believing that you are cursed because the PPP has cursed you. That's what they want you to believe. And belief kills and it cures. So your belief can right now determine if you switch off Aubrey Norton and the PNC and all these other idiots that are waiting to have their day in court in Guyana, or your belief can make you endorse and stand firm with the government who has your back. What will it be? You want to be ungrateful? Do you want to be the typical black person that shows up at an Indian wedding, pretending to be a good neighbor, pretending that you like the couple or you know the couple? Do you want to be that kind of black person that slimes just to get the dal puri and the curry and the, what's it called, 7 curry? Is that the kind of black you want to turn out to be? And after the wedding, you're saying the dal had too much of salt, the curry had too much pepper. Why couldn't they use meat? Oh, the bride wasn't pretty enough. Do you want to be that type? Or do you want to be the sincere black, the sincere, trustworthy black person to say, listen, I'm not coming to your wedding because I want to eat, but I have an envelope right now with $500 I want to give towards your planning and your new life. If you're that kind of black person, then you should be in the PPP. If you're the kind of black person that calls the government and say, listen, I have some money, I have some resources. The NDC don't have to take care of this road. I'm going to maintain this road with my resources because I want to do what I can do for my country. I pay taxes, that's why I pay taxes, because I want my taxes to help the country. But if I have the means to help where I am, I'm going to use my resources to help where I am. I'm not going to sit around and wait for the government, who has a whole country to manage, to come fix a bridge in my street. I'll fix the bridge. If you are that kind of black person, you belong in the PPP. But if you're the kind of black that sits and begs and looks for opportunities to rob and steal and snatch and snitch, and you're the kind of black person that just complains all the time, complains, and you sit down there and you plot to bring down another one. If you're that kind of black person that you know you can't be trusted, you would turn against anybody for a quick buck. If you are such a black person, stay in the PNC. Stay there. You belong there. There is no place for people like that in the PPP. Let the bad eggs stay in the rotten basket. That's the PNC, the rotten basket. President Irfan Ali. I've said in my previous shows, and I've talked about these issues. The fact that I'm repeating myself now is because I want you to understand that I'm serious. And let me say this to you, President Ali. I don't need anything from you, nor Jagdeo. Nothing. President Ali, when you were the minister, we were good. You and I know we're good. But I want to make this clear. When you were minister and you had the political power from then, I've never approached you for anything because you had nothing I need. And you being president, you still have nothing I need. Bar Jagdeo, you would know I've never begged you for anything, called your office for anything. Whatever I'd asked for in those times, it was because you were the person responsible for those departments. I had to go through you. Thanks that you have been always good and kind to me. Thanks. But they weren't favors. So President Ali, I don't need anything from you. I'm not one of the persons who slimes. No. Like I said before you were president, or even thought it was possible for you to be a minister, I knew you. I knew you long before that. So now that you were minister and now you're president, I'm impressed because you're my brother. That's all. That's all. But there's nothing that you have that I need, President Ali. Nothing. I have survived all these years. I'm surviving. I drive, I eat, I sleep, So I need nothing from you. So I don't have to suck up or slime to anyone. Anyone. I say it like it is. Are we good? Now I'll say what I have to say. President Irfan Ali, I'm addressing you as president. I've said this before, and I'm saying it again. Don't lose the Indian support. You're a Muslim. The majority of the PPP are Hindus. Don't lose the Indian support. You won the 2020 elections by a slim majority. You have 1 seat extra more than this corrupt opposition in the parliament. 1. I just told the blacks not to forget the past. I'm telling you now, President Ali, don't forget the past. You saw what happened 2015, right? You saw what happened. Because of the negligence of the PPP, the negligence of the PPP, they lost a lot of Indian votes in the 2015 elections. A lot. That was the only way the Granger administration could have squeezed an unfortunate victory, because Indians voted on their ticket. Not blacks, Indians. Because you and the PPP and Jagdeo and fucking Ramatar took the Indians for granted. You took the Indians for granted. Indians are human beings. They're human beings. So while black people forget the past, Indians don't. They don't. So you can catch a few blacks by bribing them, dancing with them, feeding them, and they forget all about the issues that they may have had with you, I'm saying generally, in the past, and you get their support again. But if you keep taking the Indians for granted, they will teach you a lesson that you may never recover from. The way the Democrats underestimated their support base, you see what they did? They put Trump in power. Don't allow the tactics, the criminal tactics from the PNC to cause you to keep compromising and trying to win the black people, while at the same time you are losing the Indian people. Indians are loyal. They're loyal to an idea, not necessarily a person, to an idea. The PPP is an idea founded and started by Chetty. And everybody who rallies behind that idea, you can have the Indian votes. So don't take it lightly that the Indians are loyal to you, President Ali. They're loyal to the PPP. But if the people in the PPP are taking their base, their foundation for granted, they're not servicing their foundation, they're not looking after their foundation, and they're running to the neighbor's house and trying to paint the neighbor's house because they want the neighbors to think good about them, and they're leaving their own house to crumble, what do you think will happen? The wife would leave. She'll leave. The support base of the PPP is the wife. The government is the husband. You are taking too much for granted. Don't think that you already have them. It don't work like that. If you have mommy and daddy, Mommy and daddy has 5 and 6 children, and they are of voting age. They are now into the world, and they're tasting, they're experiencing, they are feeling the effects of your governance, your policies. So while all seems well, it has to be personal. It has to be personal with the Indian. Don't let the Indians teach you a lesson, or the PPP, because you will not recover from that. And I can guarantee you, you fuck this up, I'm done. I am done. I can guarantee you. I am glad, I'm happy about all the infrastructure. I talk good about the things you're doing. Yeah, Guyana is booming. But don't let Guyana go away and leave behind the good people of Guyana. No matter what you do, I've said this before to President Ali, no matter what you do, they are that hardcore group of Afro-Guyanese that will eat your money, eat your time, eat your publicity, eat your friendship. But when it comes to voting, they will never vote for you. Ever. They're a small group. They are the group that gives the PNC their 20 seats. The 20 seats that the PNC gets on a fixed income, that's like the retirement, that's a fixed thing. You won't get that. Jack there won't get it, you won't get it, Nana, Anil Nandalai won't get it, not even I, probably I have a chance, but you wouldn't get it. The 10%, with your 40%, your 40% Indian, I'm talking total, I'm not talking Indians who escaped to the PNC. You can get them back. You can bring them home. When you bring them home, they're 40%. 40% of that core, Chedi Indians, you get them, and you get 10% of the elite blacks, the elite Afro-Guyanese, the upscale doctors, lawyers, teachers, that elite black, you get them. How much do you have now? 50%. And you get all the Amerindians, all the other races, combine, that gives you another 10%. We're talking about what? 60%. President Ali. That's the entire parliament. 60%. So I want you to focus and stop making bottom house food and entertain these PNC blacks that are pretending to like you, and focus your government's policy on encouraging the upliftment to the Guyanese who make sense. But everything you see, every time I see something circulating, it seems like you slime into the blacks. You need to stop this nonsense. We know you're not racial. I'm not talking about you. This is not about you being racial. This is not the case. How the hell can you be racial? Anybody who says that you're racial, something is wrong with them. We know that you're not a racist. We know that. But when you start going too far just to impress upon the average Negro that you're not racist, you're in fact telling them that you are, but you're trying to be better. You're not racist, you're not racist. You don't have to slime to these blacks. That's what you're doing. Don't lose the Indians. You lose the Indians, you lose the government. Don't lose the Indians. At the end of the day, when the blacks talk, they say an Indian man is a president. They don't say a Guyanese, says an Indian. That's what they say. And when it comes about peace, togetherness, and praying for the improvement of Guyana, that's what the Indians do. That's all they do. We want peace. We want calm. We want to live free. We want to be, that's all they do. The people who are pushing for corruption, confusion, fightings are the black people. It's evident on social media. They can't say I'm prejudiced against black. I'm just repeating what they themselves are doing. President Ali, do not turn your back on the Indians in Guyana. Your policies, your programs need to reflect the demographics. All Guyanese need to be addressed. Every Guyanese. So while you're doing what you're doing, thinking that you're winning them over, and they're circulating that and are writing at the bottom, look at this asshole. Look how he's sliming to the blacks. Look how he's begging. He thinks we like him. He thinks we're going to vote for him. That's what they're saying. How do you think the Indian feels? When they know that the party, the PPP, has their loyalty. Wherever in the world they are, they send contributions to the party. They sponsor events for the party. And they're sitting around and they're seeing how this president that they are so proud of is sliming to these ghetto thugs. Sliming. How do you think they feel? I'm embarrassed. How do you think the Indians feel? Yeah, they won't tell you that. They're not going to come on social media and say it because the Indians are too nice. They don't want to hurt anybody's feeling. Well, fuck that. I'm going to hurt your feeling. I'm going to hurt your feeling. And I'm going to say now, if you want your second term to be guaranteed without losing control of the parliament, which is still would be a waste of time, you will be a president without any executive power because the parliament, like they have done before, like what happened with Ramata, you don't want such a presidency. It's useless. You want the majority of the parliament. The majority. For you to get the majority of the parliament, serve the majority of Guyanese who voted for you. You don't want a situation like what happened in 2020. You want a large victory that can't be rigged or questioned. A large victory. That's what you need, President Ali. So stop endorsing these thugs. Stop endorsing them. They're coming to you because they want to slime. They want to slime. Yesterday they're cussing the PNC, and today yesterday they're cussing you and the PPP, and suddenly they make a 360-degree turn just because they get some crumbs. If they're so easily bought, what do you think? They hated you yesterday, and today because you made something somehow, they suddenly turn and love the PPP, and you have the entire nation of Indian who would have followed these events from these very people who were cussing, indulging in public destruction, pushing people to undermine, protest, to destabilize your government. And you think just like that, these lunatics loves you because they find some kind of paycheck? Then you're not as smart as I thought you were. When there are people who are loyal to the PPP all their life, all their life, be it in or out of government, they're loyal to the PPP. You're not noticing those people? You're not acknowledging those people? What's the matter with you? Charity begins at home. Charity begins at home. Look after your base. Look after your base. Not just Indians or PPP. You have a lot of, like I said before, the 10% of the good Guyanese, Afro-Guyanese are PPP. Don't let them think that they're sidelined because you're trying to please Aubrey Norton and Nigel Hughes and these others by giving these concessions to their followers. They're not your followers. They're PNC followers. They're not your followers. They're coming to eat the dal and the roti. Then they go back at the PNC camp and they get the cook-up. And the, what's the other one? The pepper pot. Yeah. I love you, brother. I respect you as a president. But I can't sit back and allow the opposition to manipulate you like this and pushing their people to eat. And because you want to continue to maintain your good name, you're hurting the people that means the most to the party of the PPP. And they got to watch that. While at the same time supporting you, you do not want a reoccurrence of 2015. Because it would be an embarrassment. I don't want to have to talk about this issue again. So I'm saying now, Indians in Guyana has real problems. Security. Security. Indians in Guyana need to feel secure in that country that they built. They built. What? The Africans, the ancestors left them some legacy? What legacy? When slavery was abolished, that was the end of it. They were paid, they got land, and they bought all kinds of stuff. They bought villages. What do you owe them? Your ancestors came as indentured slaves. So what do you owe them? Barnum was there for 28 years. Did he give reparations? As a black premier, then president, prime minister, did he give reparations? 28 years. Then Hoyt was after that. Then Granger. Why is it? Fuck, man. President Ali, listen. The black man's problem is not your problem. You weren't hired as president to solve the problem of black people. That's not your mandate. That's not your mandate. The president is a steward, the CEO of the nation, to manage the nation. You have ministries to deal with different aspects of the management of the nation. Let them deal with whatever shit they have to deal with. That's not your problem. You need to overlook the functions. You don't need to get into every situation. It's not your problem. Africans should solve Africans' problem. PNC was there 2015, 2020. Before that, they had Desmond Hoyt. Before that, they had Barnum for a long time. Why are you taking on this burden that you can't carry? The Indians of Guyana have struggled for years. Barnum chased how many of them out of the country? How many migrated during the 5 years of Granger? Now they're trying to return because of the promise of your presidency, because the world is seeing what you're doing. Now they want to go back home to take their money, to connect with their motherland. And what they're seeing, they're not encouraged. They're not encouraged. The African in power chased them out. The Indian in power, still they can't come back. What are you doing, man? We need a Chinese government to encourage the Indians to go back and feel safe. You need the British to come back. President Ali, I'm not telling you to be partisan. All I'm saying is, listen to the Indians. They're all over the world. They're not happy in those other countries. They're happy in Guyana. But how the hell can they feel happy if so much is happening there and the government is not using the big stick against these thugs? You're going soft on crime, soft on this, soft on that. Who the hell wants to go back? And the thought of being mugged keeps circulating because the PNC people are continuing to spew these things out on the internet, driving fear in the good Indians that they should not go to Guyana because if they go, they'll be killed and robbed and raped and all kinds of stuff. That's good for the PNC to keep the Indians out of Guyana. Let them leave. So then these thugs will dominate the country. Then who would you be president for? Who? Are people that are ungrateful? I'm getting angry. I'm going to sip some tea, calm myself down. Look after the Indians. Look after your own people. Regardless of how you twist it, they're your people. They put you there. To become the chairman of the PPP, you had to have been voted. And by virtue of being the chairman, you were automatically the presidential candidate. So it was the Indians from the PPP that made you, President Ali, chairman of the PPP, and as a result of that, you're president. The blacks didn't vote for you in the PPP Congress. The Indians did. It was the Indians who made you president, not the blacks. Indians. Remember that. The blacks didn't make you president. The Indians did. At least let them feel that their vote mattered. Let them feel that their vote mattered. They made you president, not the PNC of Aubrey of them thugs. Indian did. Indo-Guyanese. This is delusional to think that all Guyana made no President Ali. All Guyana did not make you president. Indian people made you president. With a small group of black people. But the majority were Indians. Look them after. Take care of them. Because you want to be president again. And Indian people is the only group of people who will make you president again. Indians. President Ali. And I want you to be president again. I want you to go on this year, 2030. And I want the laws to change so you can have a third term. You see? I'm rooting for you for 3 terms. But my rooting and my voice will not make a difference if the Indians don't vote for you. Make sure they vote for you. Look after the Indo-Guyanese population in Guyana. They need security, safety. Please They're the ones who work the fields, and Indian people are not just fucking cane cutters and rice farmers. My heart is for the cane cutters, don't get me wrong. But don't just see them as that. You just give handouts through the agriculture sector. No, they're the smartest people, the most innovative, the most business oriented. They invest the most in the private sector in Guyana, the Indians. So they're not limited to the agriculture sector, cane cutting or rice farming. No. In every department of commerce, the Indians dominate. So look after them in every department. Look after them in every department. They're your people. Don't take them for granted and feed the blacks while they starve. I get it. I get it. Don't say to me, yeah, Ken, Dr. Love, yeah, but why are you saying that? But you know, I'm your brother. Yeah, I'm Indian. I'm not black. I'm Indian. So don't use that excuse. I'm telling you, there is a group of blacks that you have. 10% of the population of blacks you have. The other 20%, you can't get them. You can't get them. They're the protesters. They're the looters. They're the ones the PNC depends on for chaos. They ain't gonna join you. You're a law and order guy. You're peace. They ain't gonna come in your camp. There's no excitement there. There's no jail time. They're gonna come. They wouldn't come. So let me switch here. There are these videos that are circulating again about Venezuela. And these PNC roaches are using a certain talking point that the president is having fun and he's partying and he's having these bacchanal and these kinds of things while Venezuela is slowly engaging in invasion of Guyana's borders. They're showing these videos around to say, look, Venezuelans are coming into Guyana while the president is having fun. I know you don't buy it. I know that. Most of you don't buy you understand this propaganda. It's coming from the opposition. I get it. But I have to say it anyway. Don't share these videos. Don't click on these videos. Don't share these videos. Do you think, in light of what happened last week with these Venezuelan criminal gangs or Maduro's people playing fire on Guyanese soldiers in the borders, when the chief of army staff, the brigadier, said on television, on press conference, in light of that and what has happened in February in this year, the military of Guyana, along with its partners, are vigilant, constantly patrolling the borders, air, land, and sea. That's what he said. And the president said, we are busy implementing systems to make sure that our sovereignty is secured and guaranteed. All of that came out of the official narrative. And the Americans and the others say we are on the ground, monitoring the situation. Everybody said these things. And you are going to allow idiots from the opposition using old footage that they download from somewhere about some place in Venezuela where the soldiers, maybe they're busy with their jungle training, and they're using that to say, look, you see, the Venezuelans are crossing the borders. This is somewhere at Guyana border, some shit somewhere. And you allow that to get to you. You allow that to get to you. When all the things I've just said, that everybody said they're monitoring the borders, end to end, every day and night, air, land and sea patrol. You still are going to allow that weak video propaganda to get your attention, to say, look, they're crossing the borders. This is why they say that black people are gullible. Gullible. Anything, they believe anything, even though they know it's not true. Even though they know it's not true. It's exciting, too exciting to just swipe by. No, I know it's a lie, but I just want something to bother me. It's like, I'm too bored. Let me just say, hey, you see? Yeah, it's true. Look, the Venezuelans are coming. The Venezuelans are coming. Look, Ali, look here. Ali is dancing and having fun with some black girls. And look. And they know that shit is lie. So I'm just telling you now. You see, I get it. The government can't arrest everybody who shares these fake stuff. They can't. Americans can do it. Because they had done it before. They're showing how one is saying that the border is secure, but yet they're saying, look, people are boring in the border. When they investigate, they realize it's not true. But they go after those people for spreading, public misinformation. The Guyana government should do that. You have all the pages where people are spreading this thing. Just get their IP address and you know where they are. And you can get their IP addresses. You don't need to be a genius to do that. It's simple. You know where they are. The same thing they have done a few years ago when they had this one Guyana thing started. When Maduro talked about stuff. They were sharing footage that Venezuelans are crossing over in the borders, the soldiers. And they're doing the same thing again. Because Maduro said he's going to have an election. Fuck Maduro. Go ahead, have your elections in Venezuela. Do your thing in Venezuela. Go ahead. We'll see what happens after you voted your governor. After you elect your governor, Maduro, for Venezuela, for, as you said, Essequibo, then we will see where he will be located. If you're going to have a piece of, in Essequibo, you'll build him a palace or an office there. And then you start your legislation and you start to do your thing from there. We'll see. Go have your elections, Maduro. It's your money, it's your time. Do your stuff. Then let your governor come afterward and say, hey, I'm coming now on the orders of the king, Maduro. I hereby declare Essequibo belongs to Venezuela. Let's see what happens after the 25th. Yeah, it's a lot of distractions. Guyana has celebrations, Suriname has elections, then Venezuela has elections. A lot of distractions around on that day. Let Venezuela do their thing. They can do what they want on their country. They can defy whatever laws. The World Court says you can't do this. They say fuck the court, we can do what we want, this is our land. Go ahead, do what you want in your land. Do your thing in your land. The problem is what you're trying to do in somebody else's land. That's where the problem comes. Do your thing, you can pass whatever law. Maduro can declare himself to be a homosexual. He can declare himself to be a transgender woman, whatever, in Venezuela. Do your thing, Maduro. Go ahead. But for the Guyanese citizen, whatever you do, you must understand that even though Aubrey Norton is not the president, or the PNC is not in power, that doesn't give you a right to engage in that level of stupidity online, to further drive fear in your fellow citizens because you want to put a bad impression on the Ali government. That's very wicked. Very wicked of you. And I always have to keep mentioning the church stuff. Because Guyanese Christians are largely black people who are largely PNC. So the people who are doing this, who are blacks, are Christian also. What would Jesus think? You think Jesus subscribed to that shit you're doing? Driving fear in your fellow citizen because you hate an Indian government? You racist fuck. Promise I wouldn't cuss, but yeah. That's the thing. When you're dealing with these ghetto people, you have to use certain words so they understand. You have to. I don't like it, but I need to get the message across to them. And if I don't say that word, they wouldn't listen. I need to get their attention, and that's how I get it. I know the rest of you are smart, elite. You get it? Good. So please, when I say that word, just say, okay, I get it, okay. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So yes, Mr. Muhammad, when you make a false declaration on your taxes with intentions to defraud the government or the state, it's a criminal offense, punishable by jail time, not reimbursement. So even though you might pay the money you owe, you still have to face jail time. It's a felony. You still. So now you're going to count on the friendship you thought you had with Jagdeo and Ali, right? Hey, Ali, what's up, man? I give you security in 2020. I thought we were friends, man. What's this thing, man? Ali would say, well, you people said I'm corrupt. You people said that I am playing with the justice system, so I can't help you. You got to go through the system. I can't help you. I cannot subscribe to this because the Americans will sanction me as a president if I compromise the law for you. No, brother, you got to go through. You're the one who robbed the government. I didn't. You did. You want to drive a fancy car? Go in America, drive it there. You want to bring it here? Pay your taxes. Simple as that. It's a crime. Punishable by jail time. Unless all those, after all, Mr. Muhammad, you are the king of the ghetto. You're the prince of the slum. So if you have some volunteers from the slum who want to go and serve the jail time for you, then you can call them up. Tell them to come and go serve the jail time that you have to serve. They'll do it willingly. Willingly. You're the prince of the slum, right? You're the ghetto king. They'll do it for you. Those blacks would die for you. If the money keeps coming, even though after they're dead they can't spend it, they still want to see that cash. They'll do it for you. So, call upon them. They'll come. And folks, every time an election is close, you have a long list of wannabes, want-to-be individuals who are surfacing from wherever. Wherever. They may have some fame, however they get it. And they're surfacing now and saying they're better. They want to get into politics because the government is not serving the rights of the people. Every time there's an election, you don't hear from them for 4 years. But the final lap of the elections, every Tom, pussy, and lunatic wants to start a political party to contest the elections. Everybody. Now you have these V-fuck guys. Was it? Is V? Anyway. Everybody wants to be a politician. They think this thing is that easy. They think this thing is that easy. I mean, Irfan, have you told them how long you're in that movement? More than 30 years, right? More than 30 years. Now President Ali is in the political movement. More than 30 years. You see how long that man had to dedicate and devoted his time. He could not have done anything else with his life. Nothing else. He learned to cook later in his life. Irfan couldn't even dress. He had no time to lose weight. You see how big he got, right? Because he was dedicated to the cause of Chedi, to fight for the rights of Guyanese, to do the very thing he's doing right now. He has dedicated his life from a teenager. And after 30 plus years, now he gets a chance to be president for these 5 years and possibly the next 5 years, for 10 years. And these idiots who just surfaced today think they can show up on the scene and get votes when Jack Dio and Irfan and these guys had to be looking at political shows as babies. You can just show up now and you think people will vote for you just because you say something about the government? This is how this shit works. Why do you think Norton boycotted all those great, talented women in his party? Because to him, he's there for too long. It's his turn now. Even though there are people there long before him, more qualified. He did what he had to do because he thinks it's his time now. And if he loses chance now, he's done, like Corbyn. Robert Corbyn. He thinks this is his time. Those men spend decades and decades and decades. And some of these people just woke up. And they think they deserve to be president. That's how it happens. They want to be a Donald Trump. Like this Muhammad guy. I have an advice for him, really. The best way to be a good public speaker is to learn how to sing. So, Mr. Muhammad, you should get a coach, a voice coach. Let them teach you to sing some bhajans. You know, some bhajan. I know you're Muslim, but sing some bhajans, because bhajans, you have to have a tone. You have to have pull a long note. You have to like stay there. Oh, it's the most difficult songs to sing are bhajan songs. You know, these Indian songs from the Indian movies. I think the Indian singers are the best anywhere. Because when you see them singing that song, like Shah Rukh Khan, Tum paas rahe, to muskurahe, tum mere jaane ja, apne ja, apne ra. Anyway, tum paas rahe, and you gotta keep going on. Yeah, that's the Indian singing. Nobody else does it like that. Whitney Houston came close to that. But Indians are the best singers. So Muhammad, get a coach. Let them teach you to sing some bhajan. You know, some bhajan. And when you get a tone and people can tolerate your singing, oh, he sounds nice, then you can think about speaking. But until then, cut this shit out. Cut this shit out. You're one of them who think you can just wake up one day because you buy some we know what you buy. And you hang around a few lowlifes and they give you some time on the internet and some people share your pictures, click on your pictures, and these thugs that you're paying are writing some poorly written comments on your thing, and you think you can be president based on that? Really? Do you see what Irfan does around the world? Do you see how he puts critics to rest when he's dealing with them internationally, on international stages? Newscast, CNN, BBC. Have you noticed that? You think you can be to that level? You think you can go there? I'm doing this all my life. And I don't consider myself a master. I'm not a politician. I cannot articulate and present like Irfan. I can't do that. He's the best. I mean, this I can do, what I'm doing here, yeah. But Irfan, the politics, I would not stand to debate that man. I'll debate him on other issues, but not politics. He is the best. And you, little snot-nosed, self-proclaimed billionaire that should pay your taxes and want to rob the government, you think you would be president because some all boys done thugs and where's the other places? Tells you you're the next president? Have you taken your pill? Did you take your pill? If you haven't, you need to see a psychiatrist. Get on medication. I heard you don't drink, which is good, but you need to take some drugs. Because you need to come down to face reality. Ain't gonna happen. President of Mohammed Enterprise, yes, you're the son. But a country? Hell no. President Irfan Ali, the safety and security of the good citizens of Guyana matters. While you're looking at all the other issues to solve all the other problems, the most important issue that you should take care of is keeping the citizens safe from the threats within the country. Arm the Indians. Arm. A-R-M. The Indians. Give them firearms. Every family should have a firearm. Work the system out. Do your checks. You know who will deserve and who don't deserve it. They are very good people. The law-abiding ones, you give firearms. I'll cover this in another show, but for now, this is what I wanted to say. I'm going to keep emphasizing this and stress to all the government ministers in ministries. Look after the citizens that put you there. Look after the citizens that put you there. And as a result of you looking after the people that put you there, the others benefit. But if you skip them and go take care of the rest, your people aren't benefiting. But when you take care of your people, everybody else benefits. So all the government ministers, don't fuck this up. See this as your only chance. Election victory is not guaranteed, it is earned. It is not guaranteed, it is earned. You have a few months for that big day. From now to then, you better do what you have to do to win those Indians back. You better do what you have to do. Don't wait until the last 2 months and think you're going to go fooling them and pretending. Don't do that. Don't screw this up. You need the majority of the parliament to push your plans, to make Guyana great again. You need the majority of the parliament. For that, you need over 40, 45, or 50 seats. You can get it. You can get it. But not without the Indians voting for you in their numbers. If you lose one Indian vote to the PNC, that is too much. You can't lose any. You need all the Indian votes for the PPP. And I'm calling on the Indians now. Yes, some of the ministers are assholes. Some of them don't know what they're doing. This is the first time they are ministers. This is the first time. So they have to learn. This is the first time Irfan is president. This is the first time. So be patient. Don't give up. Don't give up on Irfan. Don't give up on the government. Don't give up on the PPP. Be patient, but keep hammering in that home. Keep complaining. Just like the Afro-Guyanese are complaining, you should start complaining. Tell them don't take you for granted. Let them take care of all Guyana. Start complaining too. So they understand they need to take you serious. Well, I'll take my leave now. I'll see you again in the next broadcast. Bye-bye.